This rookie class is good. I think in one of the most stunning, if you'd say what's the most stunning thing of this season, I really like this rookie class. I really like Wiseman. I absolutely love Halliburton. Um, Edwards we'll get to in a second, but the shocker to me is LaMelo. And Jacoby and I have been going back and forth on LaMelo. And I'm just like, I'm out. He's too immature. He can't shoot. I don't see it. I think he's a gimmick. It's not going to happen. And on Saturday night, I apologized to Jacoby. And I was like, you were wrong. You were right. I was wrong. I'm going to take the loss. I love watching LaMelo. He's really fun to watch. He's fun to play with. He's way better than I thought. He's an impactful rookie right away. And I don't think the last 4 games where Charlotte won every game, and in the last 3, he was really, really special in a couple different stretches where he basically almost averaged a triple-double the last 4 games, like 14, 11, and 8. And they can't keep him off the floor. And he just has it. And I don't know if he's ever going to be able to guard anyone. I don't know if he's ever going to be able to shoot. But he does so many good things during a game that he's really good. And I apologize to all the LaMelo backers. I wish I had been on the bandwagon earlier. I didn't think it was going to happen, but it has.
Okay, I'm surprised he's been this good already. For a couple different reasons. And it's funny because Borrego, who's a terrific coach, needs to get more love with Charlotte. I mean, here we go again. And Devontae Graham's been terrible. He's like 2 completely different people. Hayward's been great. You know, they're going to have to go small a lot of times.
Hayward thing kills me. Hayward's been awesome.
Awesome.
It's like,
awesome.
Where was this?
But
3
here comes
years.
LaMelo plays 16 games 16 minutes his first game. Misses every shot in the game.
He looked like
0
a
points.
deer on ice.
Right.
He had no idea what he was doing.
And 15 minutes again, hit some buckets, 13 points. You're like, oh, okay. And now you start looking at this minutes thing, and they've won games twice against Atlanta and New Orleans, who I still can't figure out, the Knicks, who's starting to cool off a little bit after, the Knicks probably weren't going to be your 1 seed in the East. They can't keep him off the floor. He shot like shit last night against the Knicks. But when I watched him in Australia, and this is where I would argue people, like, did you watch the Australian stuff? Because as I said, I didn't say that the league was garbage. I didn't say that LaMelo was garbage. I said his approach to the way he played the game was garbage, because it was. He's taking like 8 or 9 threes a game, shooting in the 20s, pulling up from 30-something feet, fucking atrocious. And not just clips, like stretches of games. No interest.
Wait, are you talking about Trae
anybody.
Young right now or LaMelo?
Hey, look, Trae, after the John Collins thing, which was the most predictable thing. I can't believe it took this long for finally to get out to be like, hey, we don't really love playing with this guy. But I'm taking some time off from any of the Trae negativity, because the record's been decent, and he's shooting a little bit less.
It's a losing record, but keep going. I interrupted you on LaMelo.
Okay, LaMelo, when I watched I go, if this fucking guy shows up to do this as an NBA kid, like, somebody's going to knock him out. And they were losing all of those games. And when he left, they were like, all right, see you later. Like, this was stupid. Like, what was the whole point of this? And even RJ Hampton's camp is like, wait, why does this guy get to do whatever he wants? And we're like actually trying to use me in a real rotation like grown-ups. So I thought if he played that way, because that's what I was going off of, I'm like, this is the funny thing here is, and maybe it makes sense, because he actually seems to have a really good personality. Like, he carries himself way in a very like.
So he tanked the interviews. So that we can say that now officially, he 100% tanked the interviews.
And after the interview part, where GMs were like, I don't know about this guy, and then there was this momentum that it was like, oh, this guy might suck, and then towards the very end, a couple teams that I did trust were like, man, we really think, because you could see the size, the vision, and all the playmaking and the rebounding at the position, which is nuts. But here's my final point on it, is that LaMelo showed up to the NBA with far more respect for the league and his teammates than I think he ever had in Australia. And that was something I completely missed on. I didn't realize how much better he was going to be with better teammates, because he was actually going to give a shit what they thought about him, where I feel like the kid I watched in Australia just didn't care. Like, he was just there to try to get buckets and highlights.
He's been an awesome teammate. He's really unselfish. He plays with a specific pace that I love, where it's like, even after a made basket, he's off, his head's up. He's looking for anybody that might leak out. He made it pay when they played last night or 2 nights ago. Where
last night,
there was just a rebound, and he threw like a 75-foot pass to Hayward. Like, one hand caught the pass and just zipped it like Josh Allen style.
He had 14 rebounds last night. He missed every shot for the most part, and I still don't know.
Well,
I mean,
he can't shoot and he doesn't play defense. He at least tries on defense though, which I
he's
wasn't
at
expecting.
35% from three, which I didn't know if he would ever get that in a season in his career, and I'm still not sure that number's going to hold
They're all
up.
ugly.
But
yeah, they
go
all
ahead.
seem well. One thing I like, and this is what I judge with rookie guards. I call this the Sebastian Telfair theory. I'm throwing a lot of theories at you today. You
Love
got to
theories.
finish at the rim. This is why I like Pritchard. Pritchard's, shorter. I don't think he's an amazing athlete, but when he drives to the basket, he actually gets layups, and he might have to double clutch it. He might do the sneaky Nash off the 1 foot, but he'll get the layup off. LaMelo goes to the basket. He's already kind of can bounce off guys, and maybe he doesn't always make the shot, but his instincts are right for either I'm going to beat this person to the square, or I'm going to bounce off this person and do a little double clutch hold thing. But he's more physical than I expected. But partly because he's tall, and I think when teams play him, they're kind of like, "Holy shit, this guy's 6'8". He's like almost Jason Tatum size, and he kind of knows how to use it. The passing is obviously the thing that's all that really matters here. The rebounding's been impressive too, but his passing and the effect it has on his team, where then all of a sudden, like you see Bridges is throwing like a nice pass, and when guys are around that every day playing it, they start seeing the passes a little better. So. Anyway, I was wrong. Great pick by Charlotte, and kudos to him for tanking the interviews and ending up on the team he wanted, because it's the perfect fit for him.
Yeah, but the weird thing is he was telling people before the draft he was going one. He was telling people he was going one, which, maybe it was just a thing that got out that was just a bunch of kids bullshitting with each other and giving each other a hard time. So, I don't know. But I'd heard the same thing you. The interviews are bad. He's had all this bad momentum, but then towards the last few days, I remember I was talking. He's like, "Hey, are you hearing anything weird on LaMelo? Like that? I don't know. Like it seems like teams that I started to respect were like, yeah, we actually think this kid has a chance. So I don't know. Watch the Australian stuff and tell me it's good, and then we can disagree about it. One thing I got to ask you: are you jacking my theories here? The Sebastian Telfair theory is my theory. Is this what's happening? As we continue?
Did you call it the Sebastian Telfair theory?
Did I have to? Because you texted me about Pritchard, and I go, "Oh my god, like Pritchard's good." And we're going
Maybe
back and forth.
I did hijack it. Well, you deserve it.
You did. Oh, really? Oh, there's still a little animosity. There's a little. The tone's still a little off.
I remember when Danny traded for Telfair. When he traded the 7th pick in the draft for him,
it was.
And I was really excited. I was like, "Oh, cool! This guy was an unbelievable high school player. Can't wait to watch him." And you were living in Boston back then, so you remember this. And he started playing, and he would have these awesome moves, and you get to the rim, and they would just get blocked. He'd be like, "Oh, that was weird," and then it would happen again.
But he didn't know it yet. He didn't. It took him a while to go. Yeah, you're never going to.
He'll figure it out. It's like, no, he got blocked again, and then it became clear that was just what his NBA career was going to be like. Pritchard, not the case for him, which is another one of my favorite rookies. Can we talk about Edwards really fast though?
Sure.
He's a guy that I think is born in the wrong era. I think he would have been an unbelievable guy for like 1994. Like that Sprewell rider, that athletic guard who just has all the gifts and just is putting up stats, and we're not really judging them because we don't have the internet yet. You watch him play. I don't know if he's ever going to put it all together. He might not. His first step, he really looks like young Dwayne Wade 2.0. When you watch him, he'll have one play and you'll go, holy shit. Like athletically, that is an A++. Nobody has more athletic ability than whatever he just showed on that play. And he'll do that. And it just seems like at the very worst case scenario, he's going to be a 20 a game guy in 2 years. I have no idea if his teams will ever win. It does seem like he plays hard. He is such a good athlete. Like he can guard people, but then part of the thing is it makes sense that he picked up basketball, in like 9th grade, 10th grade as a football player. You can kind of see it sometimes. He looks like the football player in the pickup game who's way better than everybody athletically, but still doesn't 100% know what he's doing. I'm fascinated by him. I think he's a roller coaster ride. I don't know if he should have been the first pick, but he is fucking gifted. And I don't know how it plays out. You could give me any scenario with him and I would believe it.
So if you redrafted the top, would
I'd have
you
him
go
fourth.
Wiseman? You'd have him So you'd have Halliburton third, or would you have
I'd
him
go
second?
No, I'd go Wiseman, Halliburton, LaMelo. I'd still have LaMelo third. As great as I think LaMelo is good, I just think Halliburton's going to be a multi-time All-Star and a safer. As you know, my goal is I want to try to win the title if I have a top 3 pick. I love what LaMelo's doing. I'm not sure it will ever translate to anything more than something that's super fun and a team that goes 49-33 and loses in round 2. Halliburton will be on a team that he could be one of the best 3 guys on a championship team. And I think Wiseman could too.
Yeah, Wiseman is
Edwards,
clearly
I have
one.
no idea.
Yeah. Yeah, I think a lot of this too is the expectations were so low for the top end. Like, hey, where's that franchise changing guy? Like, wait, this guy might go 4th or 5th. Like, wait a minute, are you serious? Like, this guy would usually go like 11th or 12th, and this is what we have at the group. But the Wiseman part was so unknown. The LaMelo thing was weird because it didn't look great over there, and Edwards was on a team that lost all these games, and it was a dude that took a million shots, a ton of threes that were bad threes and didn't hit him. He's also still doing that for Minnesota, but maybe we're so conditioned to think the class was going to be so bad that the fact that we're seeing so many positives makes us like be just really excited to be about minimal stuff. Because there's nights with Edwards, like what is he supposed to be as the number 1 overall pick? He's had 26 and he had 0 within a span of 3 days.
The 0 was something. I think he is what we thought he was going to be. I'm just saying eye test. And he's one of those. There's a bunch of guys in this draft that I can't wait to see in person. Because I think we feel the same way about this. In person, you just pick stuff up differently. I really want to see Edwards in person. I want to see how fast his first step is. He's had a couple moments when he's just gone by people where they weren't even like in a defensive stance yet. And he's like already at the rim, like doing something. I would have Wiseman, Halliburton, LaMelo. I think it drops off to Edwards.
Pritchard in front of Edwards.
I had 6 other guys that I've really liked that are clearly something. I think Williams on the Bulls is something. I don't know what it is yet, but he's something. And I like that he's always seems to be out there in big moments for them. Like they're already kind of relying on him as somebody. Pritchard. I think Pritchard's really good. I think he's going to be a good player. Saddiq Bey is a tough one for the Celtics.
Yeah.
They took
he's been terrific.
Smith over him. And I think even basketball people we knew were like, why didn't they just take Saddiq Bey? They really needed to come out of that pick with a small forward that could take off some Jalen Tatum minutes and Nesmith that hasn't been able to play. Maxey, he's something. I don't know what it is, but he's clearly something. And that he'll be a fun wrinkle for them off the bench. I like Okoro. I like that he doesn't necessarily need the ball to have an impact. And that team's been a little bit more entertaining than I think we expected. And then I'm like halfway there with Cole Anthony would be my 6th guy. He's clearly something. I don't know whether he's a third guard on a good team or he's a starter on a good team, but he's somebody. Anybody I missed out of that would be my 10.
I think I like Quickly better than Maxey.
Okay, I forgot Quickly. Quickly should be on there. You're right. So
Quickly,
that's 11.
Yeah,
so we've listed 11 guys now.
Yeah, but I also think it's kind of hey, who have you liked that you've watched so far? And
but we've seen everybody.
I know the numbers aren't like staggering, but I just like watching Precious Achiuwa. I like how he fits in. He's not going to be a star. I like some of the stuff that he does, even though I think he's probably capable a little bit more. I mean, but the guy's taking like 5 shots a game. So, if you're looking for offense, if you're looking for big buckets from him, no. But that probably pertains back to the Celtics thing with Nesmith instead of a Saddiq Bey, instead of a Precious. But, whatever.
The Paul Reed is kind of interesting too.
Paul Reed, the plus minus stuff I saw this morning was like, wait a minute. But I don't know what to make of some of the Sixers stuff because the Sixers part of it, the offense still wasn't that great, but they were incredible defensively. Defensive ratings number 1 coming in, but the schedule was really easy, so they have this great record. But then Simmons misses a game, so I think the fact that they're spacing it better, it doesn't mean anything for Simmons. His offensive numbers are nowhere now. Like we were doing some of the things you were asking to do for this podcast. I'm like, what do I do with Ben Simmons when he's like the 5th leading scorer on the team?
I feel like that trade is more likely than it was 5 days ago.
Really? Because I feel like everybody's been saying that around the league for days. Like, the Harden Simmons thing, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. It's going to happen.
I feel like it happens.
Okay.
I like I like this draft. I like the guys. And, I haven't even the USC kid, Kwango. How
Yeah.
do you say his name? Haven't really gotten
Congo.
a feel for him yet. Hayes was the one that really scared me because and he had a bad injury too, but even before that happened, I just didn't see it. I didn't really see it in the YouTube clips. Um, I thought he was too slow. And you could make a case like, well, Doncic is too slow and it's fine for him. Like he plays at his pace and makes shit happen. But I just don't know if you can play at the pace that he plays and be successful as a point guard. And he was dramatically unsuccessful those first few games before he got hurt. I'm not going to write him off, but
No, this is a lot of this stuff is, we could even be looking back at the end of this season, listening to this part of the pod going, oh, remember? So yeah, it all goes with it. It's way too
well, here's
early.
the
I'm not
thing.
writing off anyone.
Detroit should have taken Halliburton at 7. Phoenix should take in Halliburton at 9. And you can make a case for the Wiz at 9. Phoenix was 10.